Hello all, welcome to Form Fully channel. In this video, we are going to see the multiple choice questions which are based on the Agile and Scrum. One of the Scrum teams choose to have a development team member also playing the role of Scrum Master. A development team member cannot also play Scrum Master role. Is this statement true or false? This statement is false. In Scrum, there is no strict rules that the development team member cannot also play the role of Scrum Master. While the Scrum guides suggest that a Scrum Master should not have a conflict of interest, it does not explicitly prohibit a development team member from taking on the role of Scrum Master. So this statement is false. Next question. A development team is often interrupted in the sprint midway and assigned to work on other high priority items. Frequently, such interruption lead to not meeting the sprint goal. The most likely cause could be options are the sprint planning is poor, the product owner authority is ineffective or influenced by another authority, the development team is not technically competent, and the most likely cause could be the product owner authority is ineffective or influenced by another authority. In Scrum, it is essential that the development team is able to focus on the work they have committed to during the sprint. The authority and responsibility for managing the sprint backlog and deciding that what work to include in the sprint lies with the product owner. Next question. What is the role of Scrum Master in sprint retrospective? Options are peer team member, auditor, silent observer, none of the above. And the correct option is peer team member. Next question. An important executive wants the development team to take in a highly critical feature in the current sprint. What should the development team do? Options are ask the executive to talk to product owner, work on that since organization priority is more important, as empowered team should seek the executive to select an alternative work to be removed instead. And the correct option could be ask the executive to talk to product owner. In Scrum, the product owner is responsible for managing the product backlogs, prioritizing work, and making decisions about what goes into the sprint. However, if it is important executive wants to introduce a highly critical feature during the sprint, the development team should collaborate with the product owner. Next question. To deliver a single product, 3 different development teams are formed. How many product owners are needed? Options are 3, 1, as many as recommended by Scrum Master, and the correct option is 1. A single product owner is responsible for maintaining and prioritizing the product backlogs, which represents the work that needs to be done on the product. Next question. Which Scrum events facilitate inspection and adaptation? Options are sprint, sprint retrospective, analysis, testing. And the correct option is sprint retrospective. Next question. A development team is self-organized and empowered. It is also the authority on deciding what business needs are required to be developed. Is this statement true or false? The statement is false. While a development team in Scrum is self-organized and empowered to manage its work and make decisions regarding how to accomplish the sprint backlog items, the authority to decide what business needs are required to be developed resides with the product owner. So this statement is false. Next question. During daily Scrum, what plan is used as a reference to understand the changes in progress? Options are sprint backlog, product backlog, sprint burn down, and the correct option is sprint backlog. The sprint backlog is the set of product backlog items selected for the sprint along with the plan for delivering them. It represents the work the development team plans to complete during the sprint. During the daily Scrum, the team members discuss their progress, what they have completed since the last meeting, what they plan to work on next, and any challenges they are facing. The sprint backlogs serve as a dynamic reference for the team to understand their commitments and adjust their plan as needed to meet the sprint goal. Next statement. In Scrum-based software development effort, while the sprint goal will deliver a product increment, One of the product backlog item is asking for production of a document. The options are: it is okay, a sprint can produce a document as a solo outcome of the sprint. Option 2, it is not okay, documentation is not needed until product owner chooses to release an increment to production. Option 3, it is okay, a sprint can produce other deliverables like a document requested by product owner along with the product increment. Option 4, it is not okay, every product backlog item must be about a working software requirements. And the correct option is third option. In Scrum, while the primary focus is on delivering a potential shippable product increment, it is acceptable for a sprint to produce other valuable deliverables, including documentation, if requested by the product owner. So third option is correct. Next question. Development team decide to have an exclusive sprint to evolve the technical architecture. The solo outcome of this sprint is a finalized architecture design. Options are: it does not matter since the team is self-organized about how to perform their work. It is a good practice since it will help the design to emerge. It is not the Scrum approach since every sprint must produce at least one releasable functionality. And the correct option is third. Next question. In a new Scrum team, a Scrum Master notices that a development team member works on a task that is not contributing to the sprint goal or sprint backlog. What should Scrum Master do? Options are: do not interrupt since the team is self-organizing, escalate this to product owner, discuss with team member and educate about Scrum way of working. And the correct option is third option. In this situation, the Scrum Master should discuss the situation with the team member, understand their perspective, and then educate them about the Scrum frameworks or principles. Next statement. A Scrum team can identify the improvements only during the sprint retrospective. Is this statement true or false? So this statement is false. While the sprint retrospective is a dedicated event in Scrum for inspecting and adapting the team's processes, the identification of improvement is not limited to this event only. Next question. Scrum team decide that the frequency of telescrum should be reduced to once per week. Is this consideration correct? Options are: no, self-organization is alright, but such decisions need to be approved by Agile coach, so they should involve Agile coach. Option 2, no, self-organization is about how to get the sprint work done, but subject to following Scrum. So Scrum Master should strive to coach the team on the essentials of daily Scrum. Option 3, yes, because the Scrum team is self-organized, so they can choose their practice. Among this, the correct option is second. While Scrum emphasizes self-organization, it does not mean that the Scrum team can change or eliminate fundamental Scrum events, such as daily Scrums. Next question. For a Scrum team that develops software, what provides the shared understanding of standards that software should meet in order to accept it as complete by product owner? Options are: definition of ready, definition of done, acceptance criteria. And the correct option is definition of done. It is a comprehensive checklist of criteria that must be satisfied for the product backlog item to be considered complete. It ensures that the work meets the necessary quality standards and is ready for release. Next question. What are Scrum values? Options are: respect and courage, simplicity, creativity and intuitions, focus, commitment and openness. And the correct options are focus, commitment and openness, and respect and courage. Moving to next question. What are the true statements? Options are: only the development team should be responsible for estimates of product backlog items. Option 2, only the product owners should cancel the sprint. Others can influence their decision to cancel. Option 3, only the product owner should update the product backlogs without delegating to anyone. Option 4, only the product owner can change the sprint backlog. And the correct statements are: only the development team should be responsible for estimates of product backlog items. And second statement, only the product owner should cancel the sprint. Other can influence the decision to cancel. Next question. What is the correct statement? Options are: The technical design continuously evolves over the sprint. Hence, the team should have some basic guidelines to start with, but try to immerse the design through the sprints. Option 2. The team can choose to have an exclusive sprint only to finalize the technical design. At the end, design should be approved by the project architect. Option 3. The team does not need to pay attention on the architecture as it will evolve itself as a byproduct of self-organization. And the correct option is first option. In Scrum, the approach to technical design is iterative and incremental. While it's beneficial to have some initial guidelines for a high-level architecture, the detailed technical design evolves over time as development team works through the sprint. Which is true about sprint retrospective? Options are: it focuses on development process and sprint review focuses on product. Option 2, it focuses on product and sprint review focuses on development process. Option 3, it focuses on development process and sprint reviews focuses on velocity. And the correct statement about sprint retrospective is first option. The sprint retrospective is a dedicated Scrum event that provides Scrum team with an opportunity to inspect and adapt its processes and iterations. So it is a time for the team to reflect on sprint and discuss what went well, what could be improved, and how to implement those improvements in the next sprint. Next statement. Sprint planning is the only occasion where the development team estimate the product backlog items. Options are true, because without estimate the team cannot plan what can go into the sprint. Option 2, false, estimation of product backlog items is a continuous event throughout. The correct option is false. In a Scrum, the estimation of product backlog items is not limited to sprint planning. Next question. Which is not a product backlog management activity in Scrum? Options are: ensuring the development team understand items in the product backlog to the level needed. Second option, optimizing the value of the work the development team performs. Third option, using formal change control to manage product backlog when market provides feedbacks from the product usage. Option 4, clearly expressing and ordering product backlog items. And the third option is the correct option, which is not a product backlog management activity in Scrum. The other three options are indeed product backlog management activities. Next question. The sprint backlog emerges during the sprint because the development team modifies it throughout the sprint. In the middle of the sprint, new work is added to sprint backlog. As a result, estimated remaining work will. Options are increase, stay the same, decrease. The correct option is first, increase. When new work is added to sprint backlog in the middle of the sprint, it means that there is an additional work to be done that was not originally planned during sprint planning. As a result, the estimated remaining work, which represent the work that still need to be completed in the sprint, will increase. Next statement. Every sprint, the working increments should be tested progressively from unit testing to integration testing and then user acceptance testing. Options are incorrect. It should also include non-functional testing. Option 2, no. The test strategy is decided by the quality assurance lead in the team. Option 3, not necessary. While the team needs to ensure that each increment is thoroughly tested, ensuring that all increments work together and meets a definition of done, it is up to the team to find best method to achieve this. Option 4, yes, it is prescribed method. So the correct option is third option. Scrum framework emphasizes the importance of delivering a potential realizable increment at the end of each sprint, but it does not prescribe specific tested methods or the order in which testing activities should be conducted. So third is the correct. Next question. What is the definition of done? Options are testing strategy for Scrum team, defined by product owner and safeguarded by Scrum Master, a standard used by Scrum team to assess if a product increment is done. And the correct option is third option. The definition of done is a clear and concise set of criteria that must be satisfied for a product backlog items to be considered complete and potentially shippable. Next statement. Scrum Master forecasts the date of release of product during sprint review. Is this statement true or false? So this statement is false, as the primary focus of the sprint review is to inspect the increments and gather feedbacks from the stakeholders. Next question. What are the true statements? Options are: the coherence between product backlog items is made transparent by sprint goal. Lack of coherence will lead to development team members working individually. Scrum team is responsible for formulating a sprint goal. When existing product backlog items in the sprint backlog are modified, the sprint goal is bound to become invalid. And the correct statements are the first statement and second statement. Next question. A Scrum team is in the process of defining product backlog items. The Scrum Master notices that the team is not using user story format to capture the backlog items. What should the Scrum Master do? Options are: let the team decide the format of the product backlog items. Option 2. Add a business analyst with knowledge of writing user stories to the team with specific responsibility of documenting backlogs in terms of user stories. Option 3. Correct the team's behavior by coaching them about user stories. And the correct option is first. Let the team decide the format of product backlog items. Moving to the next question. Which of the following statements are true? Options are: after the sprint planning, a sprint cannot proceed without complete requirement specification. Option 2. After sprint planning, a sprint cannot proceed without complete architecture. Option 3. After sprint planning, a sprint can proceed without a complete sprint backlog. Option 4. After sprint planning, a sprint cannot proceed without a sprint goal. And the correct statements that are true are third and fourth. Next question. The Scrum team gathers for sprint planning meeting. The product owner has some product backlog items, but the development team finds that they do not have enough information to understand the work involved and to make forecast. What is the next best thing to do? Options are: the Scrum team discuss the root cause in the retrospective. The development team proceed with starting with whatever is known. The Scrum Master cancel the sprint. The development team makes it transparent that they cannot make a forecast with insufficient information and negotiate with product owner on refining the product backlog items to ready state. And the correct option is last option. In Scrum, it is important for product backlog items to be in a ready state before they are brought into sprint planning. Next statement. A Scrum team can identify the improvements only during the sprint retrospective. Is this statement true or false? So this statement is false. Improvements can be identified at any time during the sprint, such as during daily scrums or sprint reviews, as the team reflects on its work and collaboration. Next question. At the end of sprint planning, the development team could not decompose all of the work into units of 1 day or less. It could decompose the work for only the first few days of the sprint. The options are: since the team is self-organized, they should continue sprint planning in the following days before they start the work. Option 2. The Scrum Master should coach the team in required skills. Option 3. The development team should close the sprint planning and start the work. And the correct statement is third. In Scrum, sprint planning is a time-boxed event, and it is expected that the team completes the planning within the allocated time. If the development team could not decompose all of the work into units of 1 day or less during sprint planning, they should still have a sufficient understanding of work to proceed with the sprint. So third option, the development team should close the sprint planning and start the work. Next question. The development team is not having regular daily scrums. What do you have to do as Scrum Master? Options are: will step in directly to guide the Scrum framework by asking action-begetting questions to team and positively influencing them to conduct Scrum events. Option 2. Will advise the team to think about conducting regular Scrums, but will let the team take the decision themselves as they are self-organizing. Option 3. Will escalate this to resource manager. And the correct statement is first statement. As a Scrum Master, your approach should align with the principle of Scrum, including emphasizing on self-organizing. So, first is the correct option. Thanks for watching. To like, share, and subscribe.